Hello everyone, Olli here again. I decided to make a small video tutorial series on how you can use the SuperSplat editor and efficiently edit your 3D Gaussian splatting models. In this video we focus on removing floaters and also few tricks how we can clean up our 3D GS models. Every time we 3D scan and create 3D Gaussian splatting models from real-world objects or environments, these so-called floating artifacts almost inevitably appear somewhere in the model, and especially on areas that they do not directly belong and are mostly in the way of the view. These fuzzy floaters are often small pieces of sky or other parts of the background elements for which the Gaussian process has not found the right place in the 3D depth. So they have to be cleaned up manually. Playcanvas web application SuperSplat has already become a kind of a standard tool that makes cleaning up Gaussian splatting model easy. Its versatile selection tools have developed a lot in recent years, and today we have many possibilities to modify the Gaussian structure. Let's look at this Gaussian model of a frozen ski jumping tower as an example, which I have implemented using a drone and aerial photos taken with it. Here, in the middle of the top of the SuperSplat editor is a button where we can activate different ways of displaying splats. By pressing this once, we get so-called ring mode, which turns the view into a rather spaghetti-like viewport. This is because all Gaussians are displayed in their true form, and the outlines of their ellipsoid structure appears as large rings. When we rotate the model in this mode, we can easily see where unnecessary splat groups are located and where so-called floating artifacts fill the empty space. When we press that same button again, we get a traditional point cloud, and this is called centers mode because it shows each Gaussian's center point with a blue color. In this mode, it is perhaps easier to visualize the shape of the entire model, and we can find points that can be seen floating in the middle of the sky at a certain angle. But if we now use, for example, the brush selection tool to draw a selection on the blue points, and when we delete them by pressing the delete key, we notice that it will cut a hole in the sky. This is because when we are in centers mode and select points, it means that the selection boundary runs through the entire model. All points in the foreground and the background are selected and will certainly eat a lot of splats and pop a hole to the background sky if we delete such a powerful selection. Of course, we can make a subtractive selection and try to remove those background points from the selection by painting them out with the brush tool while holding the Control key. But this is not very efficient and just takes too much time. So, if we want to keep the background intact and only remove the splats in between, what can we do? In the SuperSplat selection drop-down menu, at the very bottom, we find a function called Separate. This will be very useful in this case, but before that we need to make a selection area that is needed to separate the middle parts of the entire model. And for that task, this sphere selection tool is a working solution. By activating it, we get this mesh sphere in the center of the model. We can expand it by increasing the radius values by dragging the mouse over this field. And we need to make this pretty big selection so that the entire ski jumping hills eventually fit inside the mesh sphere. And now when I hit this Set button, all the Gaussians that are inside the sphere will be selected. And now at this point we can use that separate feature from the menu. The software will think about implementing the function for a moment because the selection area is very large and includes 2.5 million splats. But finally, when the separation is done, a new PLY model is created in the Scene Manager list. It appears in the list with the same name as the original, but now they represent the different parts of the same model. To make things easier, I'll rename this first model and just give it a letters BG to indicate that it's the background part of the original model. By clicking on these eye icons, we can turn on and off the separated layers and see which part of the separation is selected. With this function, we can now turn off the background completely so that we can focus in the middle part that we cropped. And now, when we rotate the model and look at its Gaussians against the black background, we can very easily see where the extra floating artifacts that needs to be cleaned out really are. From the side view, it is very easy for us to crop the points and cut them out using, for example, the rectangle selector. This way we are able to cut off the points in straight lines. However, we should be careful not to cut the tree line by accident when we make these selections. And from here, we can easily finish and clean up the rest of the points with the brush tool. Using the brush in ring mode is a much safer way to select and remove Gaussians, as it only selects the foreground splats. In ring mode, the selection does not extend that far into the background level when you paint brush selections just on these large foreground rings. Even though we have now cleaned up a large part of the floating artifacts, we can still see them here in the valley and at the bottom of the hill. So at this point we just need to try to move below the Gaussians so that we can again see them better against the black background, and this way we can more easily select and remove them. When the brush tool is activated, it is quite difficult to rotate the view at the same time. However, we can use the right mouse button and pan the view sideways. And this way we can slightly change the perspective and find those floaters on new areas. The shortcut key for the brush tool is letter B on the keyboard. So by toggling it, we can quickly release the view back to the orbit mode and rotate the view to the better angle. Also remember that the WASD keys, familiar from the FPV games, also work for moving the view. Once we have cleaned up enough floaters and the model starts to look clean enough, we can turn on the background part again and see how the entire model looks after the edit. Because the separate part is like its own layer, it looks a little strange in the viewport. It looks like the separated part is top of everything and it doesn't align properly with the background. So we need to merge the model back into the one entity. And that's done by exporting the model back to the PLY format. Once the export is complete and the model is saved, we can verify that the merging has been done correctly. And for that we need to clear the SuperSplat editor by selecting New from the File menu. And then simply dragging the PLY file we just saved back into the SuperSplat. Now we can see that the model is whole and intact again, and its middle part is completely cleaned up and free of floating artifacts, just as it should be. Okay, that concludes this tutorial, and I hope it was informative and you learned something new about using SuperSplat. By separating parts of large environments, we can easily clean up background elements that are not necessarily needed. This makes the model lighter and easier to load. So, until the next time, thanks for watching.